Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Rosten's Review. I'm your favorite social studies teacher, Mr. Rosten, and we have just completed our first week of distance learning. And let me tell you, it has been a crazy week to say the least, but y'all have done an awesome job, and I'm super proud of everything that we've accomplished so far, and I'm super proud of the work you're doing, and I'm really impressed that you are all doing the attendance correctly, that you're all checking in and submitting work, and I'm really, really proud of you, so thank you so much for doing that. All right, so on today's agenda for this week, we went over four things in class this week, and so let's jump right into it, shall we? All right, here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the computer screen. We're going to take a look at, and the first thing we did was we got on Google Classroom. So we had to go to classroom.google.com, and boom, you opened up your Google Classroom, and we go to our classwork, and we see that our classwork got a lot more intense this week, right? So we each had an attendance for the days that we were there this week. We did our distance learning, introduction for the week. So we first started off with a distance learning survey. Basically, you took a survey, let me know, how you all were doing, whether you guys wanted to come back to school or not, how you guys were dealing with the boredom of being at home. All right, and then so the first thing we did, our first lesson was on what is distance learning and what are my expectations, and we learned that distance learning is where you take classes and learn outside of a traditional school setting. All right, and then we learned that my expectations were pretty much the same as they are inside of the classroom, which is, as you know, give 110%, be respectful of others, and ask for help when needed. So there wasn't really much of a change there. Then we went and we learned about organizing our Google Drive and why that's important. So obviously we need to get organized now because all of our classes are online, right? And so I had you guys create a social studies folder and a folder for each of your classes, and I taught you how to color code them, how to name them, and we learned about why it was important to keep organized. All right, and then last but not least, we had our communication, which was the final part of the introduction. And in this lesson, you learned about how to communicate with me in simplest terms, and of course, the ways you can communicate with me are email. You can communicate with me via private message on an assignment. You can contact me through a class comment. Or, last but not least, there was the G-Chat feature, okay? And I gave you those four options for how to communicate with me, all right? Then today, we tried something a little new. So you'll notice here on the top, I put Thursday, April 2nd, right? So I think from now on, I'm going to put the assignments based on the day. So that way you know what you have to do by the day of the week, okay? So it was Thursday, April 2nd, and today we started off with our four governments. So you might remember that last time we were here, we were learning about the four governments of ancient Greece, right? And it looks something like this. And we learned the objective is to identify key ideas and concepts on the different forms of government found in ancient Greece by analyzing a secondary source to determine which was the best form of government. So you went through, you did some two truths and a lie, you read some background info, you watched a video, then we read some slides, some secondary sources on the different forms of government: democracy, oligarchy, monarchy, and tyranny. All right. Then we gave you some scenarios, 4 of them to be exact. I asked you how the different governments would handle these situations and how you would handle the situation. And then last but not least, I'm having you create a poster. Okay, either in Google Docs or Drawings, and I gave you 2 templates so you can choose either one you want to create your poster. And it should look something like this. So I'm going to make this big on the screen for you so that way we can all see it. All right, so you should have a title. You should have the definition of your form of government, and then in your own words, explain why the government is good or bad, or in our case, why it's the best choice. And then you need 2 images. Okay? Pretty simple, easy, to the point. And this is all due next week. So yellow class, yellow, red, and green. No, excuse me. Yellow, green, and blue, I believe, are due on Tuesday, and red and orange are due on Wednesday. All right? So, not only will you be handing in your 4 governments of Greece, poster, you will also be handing in this nice 4 governments activity sheet. And you'll notice that it goes through with the slides. So the first activity, you have to look at slides 3 and 4. Okay? The second activity goes with slides 5 and 6. So you're going to go to those slides. You're going to read the background information. And then you're going to write down 2 important things. Then you're going to watch the video. And you're going to write down 2 important things. Then, slides 7 through 11, you're going to read about the monarchy, the oligarchy, the tyranny, and democracy in Greece. And you're going to fill out this nice graphic organizer. Okay? Then, activity 4 is your simulation, which is slides 12 through 16, which is your scenarios. So you're going to tell me how the government would respond on the left and your response on the right. 5, you're going to create a poster, which we just went over. And then last but not least, you're going to fill in this closure activity. Now, once again, both of these, and now I'm going to come back to you now for the moment. Both of these are due for yellow, green, and blue on Tuesday the 7th and red and orange on Wednesday the 8th. They need to be submitted, both of them, the poster and your activity sheet. So, this literally should not take you that long, all right? It should literally take you maybe, 30, 45 minutes to do activities 1, 2, and 3, and then another 30, 45 minutes to create your poster and go through the scenarios and do your closure activity. Not that long. Let's get it done, all right? So that's what we did in social studies this week. Next week, we are going to continue on our journey through ancient Greece. I believe we're going to start some Athens and Sparta, maybe. That's going to be our historical investigation for this unit. We're going to look at whether it was better to be an Athenian or a Spartan. All right? And that's going to take us through for a couple of weeks up until spring break. And then we've got some cool activities, planned for you guys. So I'm very excited for what's to come. Of course, I would love to be back in school and be back in class, but, this is what we're going with for now, and we're going to rock it because in social studies, we bring it 110%. Am I right? All right, guys, so that's all I got for you today. I hope you had a great week in your distance learning. Remember, if you need anything at all from me, shoot me an email. Send me a private message on the assignment. Send me a class message because, sometimes your question might be something that somebody else has a question about. So I'll be able to answer both questions in one time, which is good for me. Or if it's an emergency, G-chat me. All right, I'm going to send a letter home, an email, and a class tag message today. Your parents might have gotten it already with a voicemail number in case they need to contact me and they need to speak to me on the phone, so that way I am available to them as well. All right, so in the words of me, that's all I got for you today. Take some time this weekend. recharge the batteries, do something you like to do when you're not with me. I don't know, go for a walk, play outside, have a catch, but make sure you're practicing social distancing. Don't mess that up, okay? Or, go play Fortnite, go do something useful, read a book, read a magazine, maybe come up with a new hobby like photography or taking videos of the leaves floating in the air. I don't know. Do something. All right? Have a great weekend. Be kind to one another. In case somebody didn't tell you today, I love you. I miss y'all. And peace be with you and with you. Rosten